Hutchins.
Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome along to Soul on Saturday, live here on Buzztown Radio. I'm Bob Hutchins, with you until 4 o'clock this afternoon, playing a great mix of soul, northern soul and Motown tunes for you. Well, it's a rather blustery day. Risk of a shower between 2 and 3. I'll give you full details on the weather a little later on. Well, hope you're enjoying the weekend despite that. Let's get going with some great music, shall we? Kicking off this afternoon, Bernadette Peters. Will you care what's happening to me, baby? Enjoy. This is Buzztown Radio, getting us underway on this Saturday afternoon. Bernadette Peters and Will You Care What's Happening to Me, Baby? B-side on Columbia Records from the 1st of May 1967. Produced and arranged by John Simon. It was composed by Brute Force and Paul Kahan. Here's the Admirations. You Left Me. There you go, that was the Admirations and You Left Me, an A-side on Peaches Records from 1966, produced by Eddie Silvers and Gordon Keith, composed by Bruce Charles and Kenneth Charles. It was previously released, that song, by a group called the Aspirations. Now I want to say good afternoon to our 80s and 90s man here on Buzzdown Radio, Chris James. He's only in for a short time, he says. He's got to go out and get some new tyres fitted after spotting a screw in one this morning. Yeah, just leave it there. Don't touch it till you got that new one in place. This is Buzztown Radio. I'm Bob Hutchins. Welcome along to Soul on that Saturday.
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
Now, if I'm sounding a bit off today, well, this is the first day that I feel capable of doing anything. Been laid up with COVID this week, and this new variant, well, I don't recommend it. Anyway, on to the next tune. Demeter Joe, I'll Save the Last Dance for You. Born in Austin, Texas, that was Demeter Joe and I'll Save the Last Dance for You. The answer, of course, to Save the Last Dance for Me. Released on Mercury Records in October 1960. Arranged by Cliff Parman. It was composed by Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann. Reached number 22 in the Billboard Hot 100. Also released over here by Mercury Records on the 11th of November 1960. Her proper name was Demeter Joe DeBlanc, born 5th of August 1930, and we sadly lost her on the 25th of December, Christmas Day 1998. As well as being a singer, she was an actress and comedian, and her second marriage was to her manager, James Biddy Wood, in 1961. This is Buzztown Radio. I'm Bob Hutchins. Welcome along to Soul on Saturday. Time for an instrumental, the Veltone Band. Some good in everything bad. That was was a Veltone band for you there. Some good in everything bad. It's the instrumental with backup singers chorus, the B-side to the fabulous Apollos. Some good in everything bad. Released on Veltone Records in December 1968. Produced and composed by Frank R. Brown. Arranged by Don Norman. Copyrighted on the 23rd of December 1968. No UK issue of that one. Want to say good morning to Michael Cortorano in Cleveland, Ohio, and good afternoon to everyone listening in the UK, including listeners on Keep the Faith Internet Radio who are taking this stream from Buzztown Radio this afternoon. You're listening to
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
Get ready to dance. Here's our modern room twosome.
starting with JP Robinson. Our day is here. That was the first of our two tunes from the Modern Room this afternoon. JP Robinson and Our Day Is Here, the B-side to Keep Me Satisfied, released by Blue Candle Records in March of 1974. Produced by Clarence Reed and Willie Clark. The horns and strings arranged by Mike Lewis and composed by Clarence Reed. I'd like to say good afternoon to Steppen on Mixcloud. Also, I've lost it. Oh dear. Oh yeah, we've got two logged out listeners as well. Welcome to everyone. Let's have that second tune. This is Gary Tom's Empire and Love Me Right. Buzztown Radio, that was Gary Tom's Empire and Love Me Right. That particular track only released on a 7-inch here in the UK. It came out on Epic Records 19th of September 1975. Produced by Rick Blue Ice and Bill Stahl and composed by Gary Toms himself. Reviewed in Blues and Souls magazine 169 on the 16th of September 1975. Now, it was the B-side here in the UK to Drive My Car. In the US, their single of Drive My Car had a totally different B-side, which I didn't make a note of. Gary Tom's Empire, a funk and R&B disco band out of New York City. Probably one of their best-known singles in the 70s was 7654321, in brackets, Blow Your Whistle.
Great Soul every Saturday on Buzztown Radio.
Buzztown Radio weather. Buzztown Radio weather. Buzztown Radio weather. Buzztown Radio weather. Buzztown.
Well, the weather here in Leighton Buzzard is very, very different from Michael Cortorano's in Cleveland, Ohio, where it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny today. Here in Leighton Buzzard and the surrounding districts, it's an overcast afternoon with a risk of light rain, changing to sunny intervals from about 4 o'clock onwards. However, there's a high of just 12 degrees centigrade. Strong winds coming in from a westerly direction this afternoon at around about 24 miles per hour, easing to 16 through the evening. However, there are gusts ranging between 32 and 50 miles per hour today. The UV, as you can imagine, is medium, pollution low, and sunset this evening is at 18:33. Overnight, you're going to have clear skies, temperatures at midnight of 10, only dropping down 1 degree to 9 by 2 a.m. Sunday, sunrise at 11 minutes past 7. You'll see sunny intervals changing to cloudy by lunchtime with a high of 15 degrees centigrade. The wind coming from a west-northwesterly direction at 18 miles per hour and gusts of 36 miles per hour. Sunset on Sunday is 18:30. Now for the week, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by nighttime, 19. Tuesday, overcast changing to sunny intervals by late morning, 17. Wednesday, cloudy, 18 centigrade. Thursday, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by early evening, 17, and Friday overcast 16 degrees centigrade. That's your weather for Leighton Buzzard and the surrounding districts. You're listening to Buzztown Radio.
Now, back to the music.
This is Marvin Whitney, Saving My Love for My Baby. Sorry about turning the sound off there for a second. Not feeling my best at the moment. Marvin Whitney and Saving My Love for My Baby. B-side to Your Love Was Good For Me. Released on Federal Records in June 1967. Composed by J.J. Barnes, Richard Morris and Walter Wisenhunt. Continuing with the B-sides, here's Marie Queenie Lyons, Drowning My Own Tears. This is Buzztown Radio. That was Marie Queenie Lyons and Drowning My Own Tears, the B-side to Try Me on Deluxe Records. Released in November 1968, it was produced by Hal Neely and Dave Harrison and composed by Henry Glover. Cashbox Magazine reviewed it 16th of November, and there was also a trade advert in Record World in both November and December. A full page ad in Record World on page 15, 21st of December 1968. You're listening to
Bob Hutchins, Soul on Saturday. Great soul music live on Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio, Buzztown Radio, Buzztown Radio.
This is Troy Keys. Love Explosion is the title. Troy Keys here on Buzztown Radio and Love Explosion, released by ABC Records. And there's sleigh bells in the background that you can hear, probably put in because the record was released in December 1967 and they wanted to encourage the radio jocks to give it a spin. It was arranged by Richard T, produced by George Kerr, who also composed it with Gerald Harris. Cashbox reviewed it 23rd of December 67. You could also buy it over here in the UK. It was released by Stateside on the 2nd of February the following year. Here's the Impressions. They're meeting over yonder. The Impressions for you there from May 1965, Meeting Over Yonder, an A-side on ABC Paramount Records, arranged by Johnny Pate. It was composed by Curtis Mayfield. Cashbox Magazine reviewed it 12th of June, Billboard on the 5th of June, mentioned in ARSA in the May 20th to be precise. UK edition, that was released by his master voice, 16th of July 1965, reviewed in Disc Review magazine the day after. You're listening to
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
Ain't no place like Motown. Listen while we play.
two tunes for you now from Motown, starting with this one by Chris Clark. It's Bad Seed. First of our Motown double play, Chris Clark and Bad Seed, an unreleased track recorded in 1969 that eventually saw the light of day on the Motown collection, a mix of great Chris Clark tracks released by Motown Universal on the 7th of March 2005, composed by Gloria Jones and Pam Sawyer. This is Buzztown Radio. Our second one is from Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Hold Me, Oh My Darling.
I'm gonna hold you in my arms.
Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell on Soul on Saturday. Hold Me, Oh My Darling. It was track 6 on the A-side of their album United, released on Tamla Records, 29th of August 1967, composed by Harvey Fuqua. The UK edition of that, which I have in my record collection, came out on Tamla Motown Records in January the following year. You're listening to
Buzztown Radio.
This is Bobby Reed and Caledonia Brown. Buzztown Radio, that was Bobby Reed and Caledonia Brown, a previously unreleased Shrine recording from 1966 that eventually made it onto 7-inch in 2003 with Baby Don't Leave Me on the B-side, arranged by Freddie Perren and produced by Clay Roberts. I'd like to say good afternoon to Ted Jackson down there in Essex. Also, good afternoon to Johnny Murph, station owner of Buzztown Radio, who's listening in at work in Milton Keynes. Welcome along to everyone. You're listening to Soul on Saturday here on Buzztown Radio. I'm Bob Hutchins. Here's the Parquets and Green Monkeys. There you go, the Parquets and Green Monkeys, released on ABC Paramount Records in January of 1962, composed by Gil Capel. Both Billboard and Cashbox reviewed it on the 27th of Jan 62. Yes, I did notice my typo, Ted, after I wrote that. It was supposed to say 56, and I think it came out 556 or something like that, miles per hour, or 560. Oh dear, yes. Excuse me. You're listening to
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
Here's the Ovations. It's me and my imagination. Buzztown Radio, that was the Ovations and Me and My Imagination, A-side on Goldwax Records from October 66, composed by Bill Cantrell and Quinton Claunch. Catchbox Magazine reviewed it 8th of October 1966 on page 12. Well, one of my favourite singing groups of the 60s, lead singer of this, of course, went on to become lead singer of Chairman of the Board. But here's the Showman in Paradise. Penultimate tune for the first hour on Soul on Saturday. That was The Showman and In Paradise, a great double-sided 7-inch on the Northern Soul scene, because it has Take It Baby on the flip. Now, some like me prefer to play In Paradise more than the other, and other DJs out there prefer to play Take It Baby on the dance floor. They're both as good as each other. Came out Swan Records, May 1965. 1965, arranged by Richard Rome, produced by Richard Barrett, and composed by Norman Johnson. Wasn't using his first name of General back then. Well, time for one more tune this hour. You're listening to
Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio.
This is Gordon Keith and Look Ahead. Gordon Keith there and Look Ahead from 1968 on Calumet Records, produced and composed by the artist himself.
Yes, you will. Let's travel on now. Let me hear the horn now. All right here.
It's coming alive. Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio. It's coming alive. Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio. It's coming alive. Buzztown Radio.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's another hour of great soul music on Buzztown Radio with Bob H.
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
So welcome back to hour 2 of Soul on Saturday. Now you may have noticed in the first hour that there wasn't any births to celebrate on our Born on This Day, and well, thankfully there's no memoriam either in hour 2. We've got no soul related artists that passed on this day. So another hour of happy tunes from me, starting with this one from D. Clark, In My Apartment. Well, it wouldn't have had the same impact if he sang In My Flat, would it? D. Clark for you, In My Apartment, released on Constellation Records, January of 1965. It was the A-side with I Ain't Gonna Be Your Fool on the flip. Arranged by Riley Hampton, it was produced by Bill Shepherd, composed by Barrett Strong, Chuck Barksdale, Larry Graves and Mickey McGill. No UK issue of that particular record. So who was D. Clark? Well, his full name was Delectus Clark, born 7th of November 1938 in Blytheville, Arkansas, and we lost him on the 7th of December 1990 in Smyrna, Georgia. Best known as for a string of R&B and pop hits in the 50s and early 60s. His mother was a gospel singer and encouraged her son to pursue his love for music. His mother's name was Delecta. He was Delectus. There you go. A little bit of useless info. You never know. Somebody might ask it once someday in a pub quiz. Probably not, mind. Here's Tammy Levon. Show Me the Way. This is Buzztown Radio.
Afternoon, Bob. We're listening in Milton Keynes. Just want to say you've got a great show and we enjoy listening in. Keep on keeping on, Bob, from all the boys here in MK.
Thank you, Johnny. And that was Tammy Levon and Show Me the Way, B-side to A Schoolgirl's Dream, released on Nation Records in April of 1966, composed by Gil Garfield. Billboard magazine reviewed it on the 7th of May 66, and interestingly, Show Me the Way was actually the side of the record that got the most airplay on US radio stations. You're listening to
Bob Hutchins, Soul on Saturday. Great soul music live on Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio, Buzztown Radio, Buzztown Radio.
This is Margie Hendrick and On the Right Track. This is Buzztown Radio. That was Margie Hendricks and On the Right Track. B-side to a song called Restless, released in July of 1967 by Mercury Records, arranged by Gene Miller, produced by Boo Frazier and Roy D, and composed by Margie herself. Billboard magazine reviewed the 7-inch on the 8th of July, and the UK edition released by Mercury in September of 67. It's 10 past 3 on a Saturday afternoon. You're listening to Soul on Saturday here on Buzztown. Got the Nomads for you now. Tell it like it is. That was the Nomads and Tell It Like It Is, an A-side on Josie Records from March 1963, produced by Dorian Burton and Mickey Eichner, arranged by Ticho Wilshire and composed by Gene Red and Matty Burton. Cashbox magazine reviewing it on the 9th of the month. So I thought I'd play a nice oldie before we play some Modern Rooms.
This is Buzztown Radio.
Get ready to dance. Here's our Modern Room twosome.
The first of which is NWO and the Terry Green Project, Lost Inside Your Love. Well, that would definitely have been at home 50 years ago in the 70s, without a doubt. That was NWO and the Terry Green Project, Lost Inside Your Love, a download out of Denmark from 2021. Don't have any composer details on that one, unfortunately. Great tune, though. This is Buzztown Radio. Here's Carl Davis and the Chai Sound Orchestra, Windy City Theme. Well, unfortunately, that's what too many baked beans can do to you. Carl Davis and the Chai Sound Orchestra and Windy City Theme, released by Chai Sound Records. Came out in January of 1977. Producers were Sonny Sanders and Tom Tom 84, better known as Tom Washington, who also composed it. Billboard magazine reviewed it 22nd of January 77, and it entered Billboard's R&B chart on the 5th of February, stayed for 7 weeks, peaking at number 65.
Bob Hutchins on Buzztown Radio. Buzztown Radio weather.
Yes, our weather for this afternoon and evening. Overcast with a risk of light rain, changing to sunny intervals about 4 p.m, just after the show, with a high of 12 degrees centigrade. Strong winds from a westerly direction at 24 miles per hour, easing to 16 through the evening, with gusts of anything between 32 and 50. UV is medium, pollution low, and sunset tonight at 18:33. Overnight, clear skies, temperatures at midnight of 10 degrees, dropping to 9 by 2 a.m. On to Sunday, sunrise at 11 minutes past 7. You'll see sunny intervals changing to cloudy by lunchtime with a high of 15 degrees centigrade. Wind will be coming from a west-northwest westerly direction at 18 miles per hour with gusts of up to 36. Sunset tomorrow is 18:30. Now during the week, Monday, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by night time, 19. Tuesday, overcast changing to sunny intervals by late morning, 17. Wednesday, cloudy, 18 degrees. Thursday, sunny intervals changing to partly cloudy by early evening, 17. And finally on Friday, it's going to be an overcast day with a high of 16 degrees centigrade. That's your weather for Leighton Buzzard and the surrounding villages.
Now, back to the music.
Nothing
This is the Ad-Libs and Johnny, my boy. Buzzdown Radio, that was Bob Collins and the Fabulous Five, Infantry on Heartaches, an A-side release on Mainline Records out of Cleveland, Ohio. Came out in 1967, a Tanner and Kaufman production, arranged by Fred Tanner and composed by Donald Trexler. Before that, you heard the Ad-Libs and Johnny, my boy. Dedicate that one to our station owner, Johnny Murph. This is Buzztown Radio. Now, we've got some great new shows to tell you about. Saturday and Sunday mornings, there's a brand new show between 8 and 10 every week. It's called The Weekend Wake Up with Chris Ironside. You may have missed it this morning if you hadn't seen that it was a brand new show. Also on a Thursday, Ian Davison has joined us, and you can listen to Retro Remix Thursdays at 10. That's following Rock Block, which follows the 90s show. And on a Sunday, Ian Davison is back with This Is Not a Love Song, also at 9 p.m. Loads of great new shows here on Buzztown Radio, and to get the details, head on over to buzztownradio.co.uk.
Buzztown Radio.
This is Chuck Jackson and Maxine Brown, Baby Take Me. As we come up to 25 to 4, this is Soul on Saturday here on Buzztown Radio. I'm Bob Hutchins, welcome along. That was Bobby Patterson, Busy Bee. B-side to Sweet Taste of Love, released on Jetstar Records in November of 1968. Produced by Abnac Music, it was composed by Art Wayne. Cashbox Magazine reviewed the A-side on the 23rd of November, and it was released in the UK with the artist named as Bobby Patterson and the Mustangs. Came out by Palmer Records, better known of course for their reggae music, on the 4th of April 1969. Although having said that, Palmer Records did release some great soul tunes on their label in the 60s as well. You're listening to
I'm Hutchins on Buzztown Radio.
Ain't no place like Motown. Listen while we play.
starting with this great cover by the Elgins. Buzztown Radio, that's a great danceable cover by the Elgins there. 6345789, released as track 2 on the B-side of their album Darling Baby, released in the United States in August of 1966. Composed, of course, by Eddie Floyd and Steve Cropper. The UK edition of that album didn't come out for another 2 years, released in September of 1968 by Tamla Motown Records. Now, being a great Stax record fan, it's ample time to say good afternoon to Wendy and Barry Pallett down in Slough. For the second Motown tune, here's The Temptations. Running Away Ain't Gonna Help You. The Temptations here on Buzzdown Radio. Running Away, in brackets, Ain't Gonna Help You, which was the B-side to their platinum single I Can't Get Next to You, released on Gordy Records on the 30th of July 1969. Produced by Norman Whitfield, who co-composed it with Barrett Strong. Cashbox Magazine reviewed it 16th of August 1969, and the single released over here by Tamla Motown on the 2nd of January 1970. On your radio, it's
This is Buzztown Radio. Serving Leyden, Buzz, Dunstable, and the surrounding villages. This is Buzztown Radio.
Here's brother and sister Inez and Charlie Fox. I feel alright. Inez and Charlie Fox, I Feel Alright, which in the United States was the A-side release on Simple Records from March 1965, composed by Charlie Fox, Cashbox magazine reviewing it on the 13th of March. On the B-side was My Mama Told Me, which when it came out here in the UK on London Records on the 18th of June 65, it became the A-side. I do apologise if my voice is a bit croaky, as I say. Unfortunately, been down with COVID all week, and it's the first day that I've felt half decent. Anyway, Joyce Harris for you next, and Baby, Baby, Baby. Joyce Harris and Baby, 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 released on Fun Records in New Orleans in 1965, composed by Dolores Johnson and Edwin Bocage. Eddie Bo, he sang as. The master date, according to ACA Masterbook, was the 18th of August 1965, so released sometime after then. You're listening to
Great Soul every Saturday on Buzztown Radio.
Somebody Somewhere Need You. This is Herb and Doris, featuring Doris Dorsey. Herb and Doris and Somebody Somewhere Needs You, featuring Doris Dorsey on lead vocals. On the B-side was Soul Guitar, featuring Herb on lead vocals. Herb was the producer of the record, Herb Sadler. It came out on Hip Records in 1969, composed by Frank Wilson. This is Buzztown Radio. Here's Lewis Curry and Captivated. There you go, Lewis Curry and a song called Captivated. It was the A-side on M&S Records from December 1968. No, you couldn't buy it in Marks and Spencer's. Produced by Fred Brown, arranged by McKinley Jackson. It was composed by Matthew Barnett, Joe Hunter, Fred Brown and Bobby Carano Croft. Cashbox magazine reviewed it on the 25th of January 69, and it entered Billboard's R&B chart. Not sure what position that reached. I haven't got access to much of Cashbox's records. On your radio, it's
Buzztown Radio.
It is. This is Cressa Watson. You're No Good. Station owner Johnny Murph enjoyed that one. That's Cressa Watson and You're No Good, released on Charay Records out of Fort Worth in Texas. It had If You Stop Loving Me on the B-side, released in 1969. Well, sadly, we are out of time. My thanks to everybody that's tuned in this afternoon. I'll be back next Saturday at the same time to do it all over again. Don't go anywhere though. More great shows coming up on Buzztown Radio this afternoon and this evening. 6 o'clock, it's Solid Gold 60s with legendary DJ Jeff Dorset. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, Sounds of Jamaica Oldie Show with DJ Bobby H. 4 hours of great ska, reggae and rocksteady tunes for you. Well, have a great week, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Soul on Saturday was a Bob Hutchins radio production for Buzztown Radio.